Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hi, everybody. Hello, Dr. Hibbert. Oh, wait, no, what's the other? Always confused who Heathcliff Huxtable's Simpsons doppelganger was, and then who the crazy guy was. Anyway, we got a video request. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com, where me, the world's only professional asshole, will tell you what I think. And it does not have to be a video. If you want private consultation, we certainly just do email as well. A young man writes, Aaron, do you have the experience to do a video? Oh, he's asking if I had, okay. Do you have the experience to do a video on singles events? What I mean by singles events is events like speed dating, lock and key, meetup that revolve around happy hour, etc. And how shitty they are for men to pick up or find a women, etc. Your bias already shows there. So I do, and it kind of, just taking notes as we go along here, kind of depends on what your ulterior goal is. Like a meetup is, I join meetup groups because I'm bored, because I want to run, I want to meet friends, not necessarily women, just like-minded people. But again, there's always those kind of ulterior motives. Yeah, you wouldn't mind meeting a girl. So let's go through my experiences here and what I did observe, because I haven't been in it in about 7 years, but some interesting insights that may benefit many of you, save you time and money. I've done 3. CSE Sports, which that's what they call it here in the Twin Cities, but that's basically like, I think you have to be 40 or younger or in your 30s and 20s to join these things. And all it is an elaborate and thinly veiled singles group. So you join up co-ed sports leagues is all it is. So it's like kickball and volleyball and all that. When I joined that, I'll just tell you what happened. I think I did volleyball and something else, kickball. And this was when I was in primo shape, and I actually had, banking jobs. So this was, pinnacle days. And it was pulling teeth to get these people to go and do something afterwards. So it'd always be the, hey, let's go play volleyball, now let's go to the bar. Hey, let's go play kickball, now let's go grab a bite to eat. And no one in my group, male or female, would go. They were just, I gotta get back to my kids, And so I was just kind of, there was very little socializing, actually, when you think about it, whether it was romantically intended or just social, because you're playing volleyball, they're talking smack, and maybe kickball's a little bit more slower moving game. But there wasn't even a lot of socializing, because then it's, let's go out and chat. People were running for the cars and, not running away from me, but they're just, like, I gotta get home, we'll see you guys. It's like, well, what the hell? So empirically speaking, I received no dates from that. Speed dating I did once, and speed dating is a well, I'll save the interesting story about speed dating later, but I'll just tell you empirically what happened once again. I went, I think out of 16 girls, I found 4 that I wanted to go out with. Of the 4, I think you both have to match. Of the 4, 3 said they also liked me. So then you get in contact, and then you contact them. And of the 3, only one responded. It's like, well, why did you say if you weren't going to respond? So anyway, typical broads, they flake out. And I knew, because I had already established 50-50-25 by this time. So the one gal who said yes, she'd like to meet and responded, it was pulling teeth again, man. It was just like, well, and I was trying to be very, okay, let's be friendly. I found out she used to live on what's called the West River Parkway. The Mississippi comes through the Twin Cities, more or less splits Minneapolis from St. Paul, and there's the west side of the river and the east side of the river. And on the west side of the river is the West River Parkway, the road that follows it down, and on the east side is the East River Parkway. I was on the west side, she was on the east side, and we both like to run around. It's a very beautiful area if you ever come to the Twin Cities. I strongly recommend driving the East and West Riverside Parkway. It's very beautiful. So I'm thinking like, hey, it doesn't get any easier than this. Let's go running. And it's very populated, light out, very safe. because all men are rapists, so you want to make sure that's the last thing on her mind. Well, she didn't even bite at that. So I can't remember if it was a week or two later, she wanted to know, oh, I was wondering if you still want to go out. Like, fucking Christ, lady. Well, what's time to a pig, I guess. So I said, well, yeah, me and my buddies are going to go to this thing. And I remember it was a dance, Vic Valari and the Valari Lounge Orchestra. And it was like, well, that night, me and my friends are going dancing. Certainly more than happy to be my date. She's like, oh, I don't know, well, maybe I'll show up. And I'm like, all right. So she brings her gay friend, and we're not talking gay, like, oh yeah, I'm gay, I just prefer the same sex. We're talking, hello, fabulous, everybody pay attention to me. Like one of those guys. I'm like, oh, Jesus. And it wasn't her what do they call them? Gay friends. I forget, there's a condescending term, not to besmirch gays, but it wasn't that he was just like her fabulous friend. He was like the guy that was going to vet me. And so she showed up with this guy. And I'm like, who's that? Oh, he's just my friend. He really wants to meet you. And he's like, and he starts interrogating me. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's really nice talking to you. I'm like, fuck this. And I ended up going and talking to my other friends. And I think I maybe even asked her if she wanted to dance. She's like, no. And so she just, like, they wouldn't join us. Like, her and her gay friend sat at their own table. And they just sat there. I'm like, fuck it. I didn't say that. But I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. You can't even go on a goddamn date. Can't even go for a goddamn run, and you bring your fucking gay dude friend to interrogate me in the most impolite way possible. So that was the experiences with speed dating. And then there's Meetup, but again, that I won't lie to you, I truly did use that more as a means to meet like-minded people. I specifically running, because I want to find a running group. There's like marathon runners, which I can't keep up with, and there's really slow runners who they're a pain to run with. So I'm kind of a middle runner kind of guy. I like to talk with someone while I'm running. And they're very social. I was very fortunate, one of the best meetup groups in the Twin Cities. And do things if you were looking to get women. Because, of course, I won't lie to you either. I had a secondary goal. Yeah, absolutely wouldn't mind meeting women who run. That's a great physical exercise. They'd stay in shape. So, one, you would look at the number of members, the number of profiles, and you're like, oh, look at all these girls. And they never show up for a run. They would never, hi, I'm new to the Twin Cities, and I'm Tina, and I like to go running. Can't wait to make some new friends. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see her. Usually it was always guys that showed up. And there were some women, but they were serious runners, and they kind of got those trunk legs, because they're all marathon runners. Not terribly attractive. But, the girls are like, oh, yeah, those are the ones I'd be physically attracted. They never show up. I think, I don't know, maybe it's work. I have no idea. And then the other thing is then there'd be social events afterwards, like we go running. And there was a fair amount of social events. I really should get back into this running gig. But again, if there even was a good-looking girl at the running, there'd be the afternoon run. And then we'd go for beers afterwards. They would never show up at the social activity later on. And I haven't dedicated the time to it. I am sure you always see this. The women, they almost, it's empirical, mathematically. You see it happen, but you don't know why. And so it is so empirical and so consistent that you can bet on it, that there's a rule or a law there. You just haven't taken the time to figure it out. And I don't care, because the result is one and the same. Regardless, you could not almost 100% guarantee if there was a hot chick running, they would not present themselves at a social function in which, and they're probably going out partying or whatever. So, empirically speaking, scientifically speaking, numerically speaking, very little success, very little. I've had more success going up to girls like either at a club. I didn't do a lot of clubbing, but usually I'm at a jazz club or somewhere the music isn't blaring, or a local dive bar where there's more conversation. I've had better success just going up to girls and you are drop dead gorgeous. How you doing? I am taking you out. That is a great day game approach. I know Roosh and his pet shop, which is good. It's good. I don't have time to hey, do you know where the closest pet shop is? They're like, fuck, I don't want to. Pretty much every other venue, ballroom dancing, even online dating, I think I had better success than these single events. Now, what is happening and why, give it a shot. It could be me, control for the first variable of the guy. But what I think is happening is I don't care what these events are. I don't care how they set it up. Is it speed dating? Is it lock and key? Is it whatever? Women are going to hook up with the men they want to hook up with. And if they'll see you, and again, within 45 seconds, they say they know whether or not they're going to want to sleep with you or go out with you or not. It doesn't matter what antics you put before that. If you approach the girl at the bar and she's decided she wants to go out with you, she will go out with you. If you're at a party, that's a good place for house parties. If you're at a party and you talk to she's going to go out with you. You don't have to go and sit through 16 different people, have a lock and key bullshittery going on. Because the girls, they're already sizing you up, boys. You walk in, the girls are already sizing you up. And they're like, yes, yes, no, yes, yes. And then it's merely a formality in which women get free drinks and free stuff at a lock and key event. So I think it's merely an extra hurdle or a cuteness that is added to something that you already are going to... The outcome is already determined, so why go through this formality? The other thing that I do know this for a fact, that this is where I'm worried about, if you have to pay to get into these events, now a meetup you don't, but if you're at a lock and key, or if you had a speed dating, this is what happened to me. Before the speed dating occurred, there was a gal I was talking to, and I said, you ever do one of these before? She said, oh yeah, a lot of them. I said, oh, what are they like? And she's like, well, I don't really come here for the dating. I'm like, well, what do you come here for? She's like, well, I'm friends with the guy who runs it. And I'm like, you're friends with the guy that runs it? Yeah, he runs the speed dating thing. I said, oh. And so he always has, it was the opposite of what I had. When I taught ballroom dance, I always had a surplus of women, so I'd have to go and try and get my male friends to come in and say, hey, do you want to pinch hit? Well, here it was the reverse. There was always a surplus of men. Now, you got to think about it, okay? My buddies would come in voluntarily to dance with the excess women, or twist their arms. But if you go to a speed dating thing and you find out that not all the girls are there to meet a guy, you start to realize it's what I call fractional reserve speed dating. There are 16 guys, and there are 16 girls, but only 8 of those girls are actually there to meet guys. Now, it wasn't that bad. I think out of the 16, I think 6 were plants. They were brought in by the guy. They were friends of the guy who either had boyfriends, were married, or had no interest in meeting men. So what you really have is 16 guys chasing after 10 women, which actually made me feel pretty good that I got like 3 to respond and 1 to show up with her gay friend for sort of a date. Success! So... what would happen is if you found out that, hey, there's only 10 girls here, a lot of guys say, well, I'm not paying for that because there's no guarantee I'm going to get a date. Then math is off. So what the guy does is bring in women, so there's an equal amount of women, so men pay. In other words, it's to make money. It's the same thing with the lock and key, I fear, or anything where you have to pay a cover, is that all the men are paying. All the men are paying the entry fee. Whereas maybe only 70% or 60%, or Lord knows what the percentage is, are not, and the rest are plants. And you're really not meeting 25 new and attractive women. You're really only meeting 18 new and attractive women who are actually on the market. And then and a lot of these things, like you can throw it off even more when you have women get in, women get free drinks, ladies' night, or you have in the lock and key, there are prizes and raffles and shit like that where there's a monetary incentive. Well, now you've introduced a whole economic, financial incentive that could throw women off even more and really question the ulterior motive that women have to be there. So it's fun, but is it worth your $30 or whatever it is you got to pay, not to mention your time, for something that really isn't going to happen and is false and fractional reserve, and for something that you can do just walking down the street or going to a bar or a club of your choosing where the environment is right for you? No, it really isn't. It just isn't. Girls are still going to go out with whoever they want. You were already chosen before there was any speed dating or lock and key tomfoolery going on. And then you really got to worry about whether or not you're just the dupe paying. I mean, the guy made money. The guy made like a band. I think it was like $32. I mean, what is that? I mean, just really think about this. Let's do the math on it real quick here. 32. Let's do how many people really actually paid. So there's 16 guys, but there are only 10 women, so that's 26 times 32. All right, so in that hour and a half, this dude took in revenue of $832. I guarantee you the bar probably gave him a really good deal, if not let him come in for free, because people were buying drinks. I bet you take $100 out of it. That dude in one night cleared $700. Now, without those 6 guys, minus 6 times 32. Oh, come on. Really? Really? The Microsoft calculator doesn't know order of operations? What is it? 6 times 32. That guy would have lost out another $200. So you can see where it pays him to like probably bring in, 6 girls, buy him a drink each for $6, and what's he out, $30, $40? Yeah, so I'm not a big fan. Try it, see if it works for you. But empirically speaking, I've had better success with pretty much everything else. Frankly, no success with none, if I was to be directly honest and mathematical about it. And there's got, and it was a waste of time. It was just a waste of time. Unless you really like volleyball, or you really like running, or you're really there for socializing and just to get out of the house. Yeah, man, these things are not just only. That's all I can say is my opinion. For you, it might be different. So go and try it once, maybe try it twice. But if you start running into the same things, yeah, I'm not saying I'm always on the bullseye, but I'm near the mark. That's what. Anyway, got your questions? Go to assholeconsulting.com. Toodles.